The Snakemen team has arrived in Master Universe Origins. Got Rattlor. Gonna open him up, talk about why I'm adding him to the collection, and we'll compare him to like his original action figure from the 80s. Cobra Khan kind of being the first Snakeman. On the back we have the Snake Armor He-Man. In the background, Snake Mountain. Definitely would like to get that playset. A couple features with this figure. Of course, I'm getting him because he does indeed appear in the original cartoons. On the She-Ra cartoon, of all things. Rattlor strapped in at a few points. A few dozen, looks like. Of course, with the figures and comic books, Snakemen kind of being their own roster of villains. But for Filmation, he was actually just a member of the Horde. So we have Rattlor here in his normal form. Very big and kind of original shaped and sized torso. Got his Snakeman belt. And some really cool coloring down his arms and legs. And then of course a really cool snake head. Looking pretty sweet. Now very much unlike Whiplash, the tail is removable. The tail piece here with his rattle, because he is a rattlesnake of course, but here it's just a backpack kind of piece that'll snap on. Strangely though, the piece isn't what has the rattle sound. It's actually inside the figure itself. Kind of can have a rattle effect like a rattlesnake. But you really got to shake hard. So he's got to be like, ah! Just a little bonus there, a little sound effect. Easy to add inside. So he just has one more layer, especially fitting to his name. Haha. But it's funny that they didn't put it into the rattle bit, you know, back in the day in the 80s. But this is much softer than the Whiplash one as well. But interesting that it's removable, although it feels real tight in there, actually. I'm pulling pretty hard. Actually, I think once you put it in there, it's not going to come out, because I can't get it back out. Might be a way to get it out, but seems permanent after you snap it in there. I actually forgot that he would have had a weapon. I didn't think he was going to come with one, but a lot of the Snakemen dudes have these cool snake staffs. Kind of just the baton in the middle, and then this like molded snake design around it. Just kind of a staff he can use. And you kind of have that feature where it's kind of securing it on there because of the snake is making an extra handle also. Same color as him. Probably would have been cooler to do different colors just to kind of get that opposite color wheel effect. But his is red like his body. He can beat people with his snake staff. But here we have another disappointing no feature kind of figure, where he would have had kind of a mechanism to stretch his neck out of the body, but they've opted to go for the modular nature still, which I don't know why. Who wants to put this snake head on another body? It's not really a big feature for me. It's not a feature that the original figures had at all. I suppose it makes production easier if they're all like this. But for the stretchy snake bit, snake strike effect, he'll just have to pull the head off and put on the neck piece. Which does mean it's articulated now, but he can't do the strike, you know, effect where he's knocking down another figure. But if you want him kind of representing the old feature on your shelf, you can pose him with the extended neck on. They do move in herds. New, 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 new. So it's cool he's like articulated now with the neck, but it doesn't have the attack feature. I would like to just have the function even if you had to make the torso and head, you know, and neck one piece that couldn't be removed like, you know, the arms and legs and things can be. And here you see you can add the torso and everything like that. But on the same page, I don't think he does the long neck strike move in the cartoon. The She-Ra Princess of Power cartoon originally. He's just kind of a hulking Horde member, just kind of adding in some of the characters from the toy line to help kind of sell the toys, of course. So in that way, you know, I'm kind of okay with just having not this long neck piece in, just like this, kind of more like he appears in the She-Ra cartoon. Of course, a little bit different coloring. His stripes are not there in the cartoon version. They're more the colors of his kind of tights, but fairly similar in shape and color. So unfortunately, the trend here is not to include the original features, just kind of ways to generally represent it, which is I've been collecting these because I never got to have any of the Masters of the Universe figures as a kid, so I was kind of getting a kick out of getting some of these figures. More articulation, but, you know, a lot of the same features on a lot of the original ones as they've been coming out here. And now we're getting into the features are not included. It's a little bit of a bummer because it was kind of fun finally getting to try those out. But we do have the rattle inside Rattlor, so at least I get to do that. Wee! I don't like that trend, but I do like adding characters that were in the original Filmation cartoons, even if it is between He-Man and She-Ra. I'm sneaking in whoever I can, just as an excuse to get more Origins figures, really. He has awesome colors with those stripes and the overall red. Different belt than a lot of the other Masters Universe figures, but he's got the kind of furry there that you would see in the Filmation show. Again, I don't need Filmation versions of the characters, or else I would have probably got some of the other lines. I just like that these are like the original toys of the 80s that I would have had if I could have found them. But I was just a little too late getting interested in the cartoon. All the toys were gone from the shelves. So for me, probably going to display him without the staff or neck. But it is cool that they are included if you want to represent that. He does appear in the comic included here. Interesting, they're showing Cobra Khan with his cobra ears kind of popping out and with pincher hands. Like that weird alternate one. And I open all the Masters Universe Origins figures I get right here in this big playlist. You can click the playlist, it'll bring up a video, but you don't have to watch that one. You can pick all of them from the scrolling sidebar. Look through and find any figure video to watch. I like to open up a lot of retro-based figures, whether they're the originals or these remakes of original 80s figures.